buddy. Let's absolutely go. How's everyone doing? Guys,
fantastic. Bringing the energy tonight.
we have the other Troy with us. Yeah. And honestly, I think it's going to be a positive addition to the show, if we're being honest here.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Troy, how are you doing today, bud?
I'm doing pretty good. Just got done feeding some snakes. So
okay. All right. Chase, how about you? How are we doing?
I am lovely besides COVID right now. Thank you, Daytona.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know what? Let's just start with best and worst of the week, Chase. What do you got for us?
Best of the week was how much fun we had over the weekend.
Agreed.
It was a blast. Worst of the week is feeling like crap the whole week after the weekend.
I'm going to be honest. It's kind of nice not being the one coming home sick for once.
Yeah,
Big fan.
How does that work? This is karma, because last time I was the only one out of the group to not get sick, and I was like, haha, you guys.
Yeah, sucks to suck.
I'm the only one sick.
I love it so much. It's so good. Troy, what was the best and worst of your week, my man?
Best by far, just hanging out with everybody in Dayton.
Yeah.
That was an absolute blast. So, worst, sales were a little slow, but I mean, we made money, so it's all good, you know.
Yeah.
You know, we were hoping to do a little bit better, but to be honest, we had such a great time with everybody and hanging out, meeting a lot of new people that we never met before. So
yeah,
definitely
all right.
Can't complain. We picked up a couple pretty nice snakes, we think. So
cool.
Yeah.
All right, man. That's a huge win. Yeah. I'm going to go with you guys. Best was, just Daytona. We'll talk more about the show. I don't know if the show was my best as much as the weekend was my best, and we can talk more about those kind of feelings. Worst was getting in trouble with my wife on the car ride home for not buying her a turtle, which we will also talk more about.
I'm so happy to hear this because I'm ready for it.
Yeah. We'll talk more about that later, but that was the worst, far and away. Of all the things I was in trouble for the weekend, it turns out not buying my wife a turtle was at the top of the list, and it just doesn't seem fair. Honestly.
Technically, we were supposed to go halvesies.
Yeah, thanks, Chase. Yeah, we'll get there. All right, Trey, how long have you been vending Daytona for?
Oh, vending, this was our third year vending Daytona.
Okay. All right.
First time in room 1, so that was pretty
good. Okay.
But honestly, we did a lot better in room 2 last year. So
what
kind of crazy.
Oh, wow.
What's the process to get upgraded from the stadium seating to the arena?
So I think on your first show, I mean, you're definitely going to be in room 2 the first time you go there. And
okay.
Then, just getting your money in literally day 1 when it's time to renew and begging for a spot in room 1. So
does begging work with Wayne? I just don't feel like it does.
I don't know. Maybe he felt sorry for me. I don't know, but I'm glad.
Yeah, whatever it is, right?
Thing that got us in room 1 this year, where there were so many vendors last year that got kicked out because they didn't have their paperwork in order. That so I think maybe that's how we ended up sliding into room 1. To maybe some of the tables that those guys had to give up.
You know what? Whatever it is. So for those that don't know, the Daytona registration process is not particularly straightforward, right? Which is kind of where some of the issues with people thinking that they're turned in may not be turned in. I heard a lot of. I'm gonna call them complaints. I think that's fair, of people being like, I thought I was good and then I wasn't good and now I'm at the back of the show or I'm on the side of the show. Or
we did hear that a lot.
Heard that from a lot of people, and I was just thinking what is going on? Sometimes I wonder if Wayne is just kind of screwing with all of us.
Does Wayne also have a cash only vendor policy? Just goes at the door?
Well, there are a list of things you're supposed to do. On their website, but we actually luckily found out from Bob that you had to have an import certificate.
Oh, okay.
So the first time we vended, if it wasn't for Bob Vu, we wouldn't even have known that we needed that certificate.
Yeah.
And I think that's ended up getting a few people kicked out last year was they didn't have the import certificate.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough, but I guess I think that's part of the excitement of vending at Daytona though, right? Is like once you actually get in, you're like, all right, guys, I've done it. I got in.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. And to be honest, I mean, we knew all our paperwork was straight last year, and the FWC guys were actually very nice to us. We didn't have any issues. Most people there didn't have issues, and even the people that didn't have their proper paperwork, who were pushing back against FWC, they still were being as nice as possible and not fining them or whatever, for not having proper paperwork. So not that I want to talk, glowingly about FWC, but we've had positive experiences with them. So I mean, we're the exception to the rule. I don't know, but
as long as you don't have large snakes, I think you're safe.
I think you're right. Yeah,
I think that's the
or that we didn't have anything that looked like boas either.
Jesus Christ, too soon.
So bad,
yeah, that was rough. Yeah, that's I've interacted with FWC 2 or 3 years in a row now at the show, just kind of walking around and running into them, talk to them, and they have been relatively pleasant at the show. And maybe that's just like a difference between like the field agents and like whatever a type of agent is showing up at the show to just check in on people or what. But yeah, man, the conversations I've had with them, it's like they don't love, being dicks in general, right? Like they want us all to comply, and they want us to be able to have animals as well sometimes, and then obviously like you said, like they screw the pooch on stuff. Like it's not acceptable. It's a problem. But the ones I've interacted with at the show, they have, for the most part, they seem to like, they want to keep the good people in and the bad people out. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing,
Right.
So,
yeah. But all in all, I mean, we've had extremely positive experiences at that show. Honestly, I think it's mine and my wife's favorite show to do.
Okay.
I mean, even regardless of sales, we love doing it just because that is by far the most hangout show for us.
Yeah,
absolutely.
There's nothing like pulling those curtains open in the morning and taking pictures of the sunset or sunrise coming up over the ocean.
I'm a little angry at the ocean this year. It's the first time I've gotten in the ocean in probably 10 years, and immediately my sunglasses were stolen by the waves. So I'm a little upset with the ocean, but it's fine. I'll move on. It's fine.
That would be brutal for me.
You did decide to boogie board with sunglasses on.
Okay, first off, the sunglasses got stolen far before the boogie boarding. Second off, rude. Anyway, so the show itself. I have very mixed feelings towards the Daytona show itself. I somehow it feels like less and less people walk through the door these days. Does it? I've been going since 2014, so obviously not like a crazy long time, but 10 years, and it just feels emptier. And I don't know if it's now spread out between the two rooms because before it wasn't, or if there's just less people coming through the door. I don't know what it is.
What is it? Was it 3 years ago or 4 years ago? Now they started rooms.
I feel like it was 3 years ago.
I think it was 3 years because we've been going. We've just been attendees. We've been going for at least 6 or 7 years now, and it felt like the crowd this year was half of what it was last year.
So I'm not crazy.
We talked about that same thing because last year it felt like until noon even there was like a line just outside going all the way around the building.
Exactly.
And this year it didn't feel like there was that at all.
No, the line at no point that I saw even went out of the inside of the hall out to the outside going to the parking lot. When every year we've been before, I mean, it was wrapped around up and back a couple times, then banked around the left and went outside along the sidewalk all the way back to the parking lot before they opened the doors. So there definitely was not that this year.
So I kind of wonder. I didn't hear the rumor last year, but I had a lot of people once they got to the show telling me, this is the last Daytona. Last year was supposed to be the last one. So a lot of people I feel like showed up thinking last year was the last one for some reason. I don't know where the rumor started. I just had people like from California and stuff who flew in who were like, I just wanted to make sure I got to Daytona before it was done. And I'm like, what do you mean done? They're like, this is the last one. I'm like, I don't think that's true, but okay.
We had heard a similar thing. And
okay.
we even specifically asked Wayne about it. He was like, that's nonsense. Because what we heard was he was trying to sell the show.
I've heard that many times.
We heard, and he said that, you know, the only way that's moving on is if he's in the ground.
Yeah.
That's what he. So
yeah, fair enough.
That was kind of, you know, so we took him at his word and keep on keeping on. Hopefully the show will continue on. I mean, it's still an excellent time. So it just I wonder if that kind of inflated numbers last year, which then of course, if numbers were relatively the same to what they were like 2 or 3 years ago, maybe that's just why it felt lighter this year, you know, just because last year was just artificially inflated due to the rumor that I have no idea where it started. It's, you know, interesting that it started, but do you feel like sales were that different you know, last year to this year, or did the crowd affect, you feel like, sales? To be perfectly honest, we were so low on inventory. We just really have crushed it at Repticons locally.
Okay.
Nice,
and then, you know, we vended Dallas for the first time this year.
We
vended the RBC St. Louis last year. So a lot of our higher end stuff was already gone.
Yeah.
And we're just now hatching, like we just hatched some really awesome redhead clown combos.
Oh,
nice.
So hopefully they'll have enough meals to take to Dallas here in a couple of weeks.
Cool.
But so I think that had something to do with it, that, you know, the selection that we had, you know, and then obviously, I mean, we're 2 rows over from Bob and Josh, you know, we're another row over from Rice, you know, on the other side, you know.
Yeah.
You know, WHS was over there with Brock and you know, so it's like, you know, a lot different competition there. And, but I mean, we still did okay. You know, we still did okay. We made money. We didn't come home in the red. So there's no complaints there. And we had a absolute blast. So
nice. That's awesome,
great.
man.
Yeah.
I think the sentiment, you kind of talked about it, but like the sentiment is, you know, Daytona is like the party show. Like everybody goes, they go to hang out, they go to party. It's a good time. Like it really does feel like for 95% of the people, sales are entirely secondary. They're like, look, if my bar tab is covered and my tables are covered, this was a successful show.
Like they'll make a little vacation out of it. Like, yeah, we get some ocean. If we can make a few bucks at the show weekend, it's all paid for. It's worth it.
Yeah, and then the auction was pretty awesome. Watching that light go for 20 grand.
That was sick.
Absolutely
crazy.
Amazing. We won a few things in the silent auction. So
nice.
So
nice.
So that was fun. That was a good time. We enjoy that a lot. So
yeah, man, the auction. So they raised $117,000, which is crazy. That's awesome. Also raised a good amount of money for the Tom Harbin scholarship for the students at Auburn, which is really cool.
Oh yeah, we made sure we went over and chatted with the Harbins.
Absolutely.
So wanted to pay our respects.
Absolutely,
yeah. We vended right next to Tom at Dallas in the spring.
Oh, okay.
So you know, my wife really got to meet him and talk to him quite a bit. She absolutely just fell in love with him. So it was really soul crushing when we heard.
Yeah, it was tough. I felt a little bad, you know, so the portrait behind me was one of the auction items. And so I was the lowest bidder of the people that kept winning it. So I felt bad bringing it home. Not bad enough to give it back, obviously.
Right.
But I did. I haven't told all of them yet. I ordered 4 more portraits, and I'm going to give everybody one as well, just because awesome. I thought it would be cool to do. You know, the only reason I have it is because they decided to redonate theirs, and we raised. I mean, just on that portrait, you know, I think it was like $10,000 or $11,000, which is crazy to me.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And what a great cause too. I mean,
absolutely.
Be able to put somebody through veterinary school. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, absolutely right. And even better for me, what I love that they're doing right is it's for somebody like a student focusing on like exotics, which is exactly what Tom would want, right? So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I loved it. So no, the auction was a lot of fun. It was a really good time, and they raised a lot of money. And like you said, the bike was nuts, right? You know, Jeremy and Steve were like, I was talking to them at the show, and was like, how much do y'all really think? And they're like, I don't know, $5 or $6 grand. And I remember being like, oh, guys, I hope so, man. I hope so. Like, it feels a little high at $5 or $6 grand, but fingers crossed for you. And and then things just got out of hand. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah. I mean, that kind of really took off, kind of like the guitar, the proper guitar that him and Jeremy from Bod's.
Jeremy's had some bangers, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, that guy's like a money-raising machine.
Yeah, he's got some good ideas for USARC. We should get him. Maybe he should do some more stuff. Yeah, that was good though. I really I loved it.
Yeah. The best thing we ever donated for a US ARC auction, we donated it years ago. There was a show in Augusta, Georgia, and we donated. My wife did a painting, and it now actually hangs on the wall at Canova because Justin actually won the painting.
Okay.
It's like a version of Nighthawks, with like a diner. And then she painted Justin and Ozzy and Miguel and Bob Vu in the painting. Hopefully
that's cool.
I've been told it's hanging in the lobby there when you first walk in. So, and a little trivia fact that most people, if they don't pay attention, our logo is actually in the window across the street.
I love that so much.
So when I tell people that I know are going to go visit Canova, I go, the only logo I know that you can see on display at Canova is ours.
That's amazing.
Oh, now I'm going to have to go take a picture of it.
Wouldn't even have noticed it. Yeah.
I'm going to laugh. Chase is going to do a little reel, and it's going to be like putting a Canova sticker over the logo.
But yeah, my wife did that. So, yeah.
I love that. That's fantastic. That is so cool. I love that. Yeah. That's fantastic.
So, I mean, I would be surprised if Chase really kind of even know who I was. But we did. I was going to wear this shirt tonight, but I'm so fat now I can't wear it. But
oh my god!
An original. Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
I miss Fat Chase.
Yeah. I hope I can fit in it again one of these days. So, but yeah, man,
so good.
So great to see Chase still healthy and that.
Yeah,
that's
you.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
He says as Chase is dying from COVID. It's fine.
But you know what I'm saying.
No, I do, Troy. I'm just messing around.
I know. I
get
hate
it.
that I'm not talking that much tonight. It's just like my throat hurts so bad. So like I feel bad. I'm reading all the comments though, and I'm wanting to engage with people.
Yeah. Oh my God, Chase. Hashtag warrior.
I mean, COVID. I mean, he'll kick that no problem.
Yeah,
that's fair. I
still mowed the yard today. So
wow. Look at you, God.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's exciting. So season is running a little late for you, Troy. Yeah. What? So what's some crazy stuff that's coming up that you're bringing to Dallas? The redhead clown stuff. Anything else?
Yeah, that's a good question. Hopefully we'll have. We have kind of our specialty, I guess you would say, even a non-recessive specialty, is we really are into like doing the banana campfire stuff. So
interesting. Okay.
We do hatch quite a few of those, and it seems to really go really well. Every time we put them on the table, they're gone instantly.
Interesting. So, okay.
But we do have shots at some voodoo clowns and voodoo clown combos. So that would be cool, but I'm not sure I can make it to Dallas with those. That might be, that'll be a stretch. But let's see. Should have some asphalt hat clown and clown stuff that we didn't have before.
Yeah.
But hypopod stuff. But as far as Dallas goes, because that's so close. But when we start hitting October, if I'm, like you guys had Bob on a few weeks back talking about, new people just ain't going to get into Tinley. Well, we're one of those people that, we've been trying for about 5 years and still can't get in. But we're trying to do all the other shows and, break out the knee pads if that's what Bob needs.
You do what you got to do, right?
If that's what it takes, we got to. Or the only other shot we have is if maybe another ball python breeder lets us have a table.
Yeah.
So, and obviously he made it clear that it has to be another ball python breeder tables. So for us
yeah,
to do that too. So, but that actually we might slide in there in October. That's the goal, but
okay.
That'd be awesome.
Hopefully it works out. So
yeah, fingers crossed for you.
Anyways, will you guys fly up there to hang out for the show anyways?
More than likely. Cool. My wife won't be able to make it there. She's a school teacher, so she teaches high school. So I don't even think she's gonna be able to make it to Dallas. So
education getting in the way. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, but she loves it.
That's good.
So,
that's good.
Yeah, but I'll be there one way or another. So
awesome.
Cool.
Well, we're vending Dallas, so I'll definitely be there.
Yeah, you'll definitely be there for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, little randomness. What do you do outside of the snakes?
So I am an IRS agent, and I'm just
kidding.
So we're gonna be on your best side.
Totally kidding. Totally kidding. No, I work for a company called 3DR Laboratories. And
okay.
I sit here on my computer and do 3D reconstructions of CAT scans and MRIs all day. So
whoa, wow. That's fun. That's fun. Okay.
Yeah. So we do like pre-surgical plannings and all kinds of stuff. I mean, you name it for whatever part of the body we do.
Yeah.
All of it. So
sweet. That's way better than working for the IRS. So
no. I do not. I was just a joke.
I was a little bummed though. I thought we had an in there for a second. Like,
right?
This is it.
I like how Chase immediately goes to like positive network mode, and I'm just like, nope, we're just booing this man. Yeah. Just booing him. Absolutely. Oh god.
On the inside, Patrick.
Yeah. I worked as a CAT scan tech and at Level 1 Trauma Center, University of Louisville Trauma Center for many years, and then got a job at this other company. So
cool.
Now I just sit here at the house and
I love it.
So it was nice. Once we got to work from home, then I moved out of Kentucky and moved to South Carolina. So
perfect.
I don't like the cold, so I had to come south. And I actually love South Carolina. It's amazing state. So
yeah, I mean the big negative is Leviathan is there. I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of bummed. I was going to go visit Fort Sumter tomorrow morning before I went to the pre-wedding thing, and now I don't get to do that at all.
Oh no, Fort Sumter's so cool too.
I've never been, and I need, and now I can't. So if you get a chance, Fort Moultrie right across the bay I think is just as cool, if not cooler. So if you get that opportunity, I will make the opportunity. Trust me. I annoy Patrick with me trying to just go see historical things everywhere I go.
It is truly exhausting.
In American history, it really doesn't get much more historic than that. I mean, that's where the first shots of the Civil War were fired. So Fort Sumter.
Patrick, new boys weekend idea.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
As exciting as that sounds, I live in Richmond, which is equally as rich in nothing but American history.
Right.
So,
the good news is I have a better chance of not getting COVID though. Visiting all the Civil War battlefields.
That's true.
Yeah. Another cool thing too, though, if you go do Fort Sumter, if you get on at the park that's on the other side from the city, there's a aircraft carrier there, World War II aircraft carrier. There's a submarine over there, and then you take the ferry out to Fort Sumter. So it's pretty cool. I mean, it's a really cool.
Yeah, I mean, you had me at aircraft carrier and submarine, so
you had me at aircraft carrier.
I'm gonna go start taking horse dewormer now, so I can be there tomorrow.
Oh my god, Jesus Christ!
We can now joke about that, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's fine. Whatever. I think we could joke about it day 2. It's fine. Whatever.
Oh, I'm a Joe Rogan fan, so I get the reference absolutely. So
that's good.
Other Troy should stick around.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Chase, so no wedding whatsoever at this point. Then you're stuck at home.
No, because I mean, even though I'm not worried about being sick, I don't want to get any of the elderly people sick at the wedding.
Look at you.
Yeah.
When I got COVID last, it was at the Dallas NERBC a couple years ago, and I didn't realize I had COVID, and then I proceeded to give every human I knew COVID, and then I also was down for a wedding, and no joke, like 60 or 70 people got COVID, and I'm pretty sure it was entirely from me. And so it was one of the greatest super spreader moments I've ever experienced. And I was definitely patient zero. So, you know what? Good for you, Chase. Good for you.
I've seen enough sensitive places in the hospital that I don't want to put anyone at risk.
Look at you. Look at you. Is Abby going without you?
No.
Oh, no. She was so looking forward to this.
Yeah. I think we both know who was looking forward to go hanging out with her friends in South Carolina.
It's true. It's fair. All right. So as we loosely pivot here, I talked about my worst of the weekend was getting in trouble about turtles. So for those who don't know, Daytona has a very large turtle population at the show. I feel like it's one of the bigger ones at all the national shows we go to. Turtles, tortoises, all that stuff. My wife has been obsessed with Indian yellow spotted turtles. So they're cute, they're adorable, they're covered in yellow spots. Shocking. Anyway, she decided on the way up there she wanted one. And I was like, sure, I don't care. It's fine. Like, we'll figure it out. I figured, though, understand, my wife's not a reptile person. Okay. So I assumed this was going to be innocent and like she'd see them, think they're cute, and that's all we needed to do. I didn't actually have to buy any. So then I find out, first off, they're Florida resident only. Okay. They are Endangered Species Act animals. Oh. So, yeah, had no idea. So that's cool. So then immediately I'm like, perfect. They're going to be cost prohibitive. I'm going to have an excuse on price. Well, turns out because they are in fact Florida resident only, it's basically impossible to sell them, it seems. So they're actually unbelievably cheap. I believe it was $12 for $200, which is basically free. So then Chase's wife and my wife thought it would be a great plan to go ahead and buy some anyway. Shocking. They can't buy them because they don't have Florida IDs. So then they're like, it's okay. We'll just get a Florida resident to buy them for us, and then they can give them to us. To which I had to explain to them, that is called smuggling. We cannot do that. So my wife has gone from not caring about turtles at all, aside from the 3 tortoises we have, to wanting to smuggle reptiles.
Now it's the hill to die on.
And I'm over here like, we can't do this. So then, of course, my wife now becomes like the ultimate investigator ever and finds out that we can legally take them across state lines if we are gifted the turtles, and there is no like, it is truly just a gift, like perfectly fine. It's understood. No repayment, no nothing. And she's like, so we'll just get one of your Florida friends to buy me a Christmas gift. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, how did we get here? So then I was like, so then I have to transition, right? And I'm like, okay, endangered species, not enough. Florida resident, not enough. I was like, you know what? We don't have the setup at home for a turtle. Like, what do we have to have for this turtle to be able to set it up? And she's like, I don't know. We'll just buy the stuff here. And all of a sudden it clicks. I'm dealing with the nightmare first time reptile owner, and it's my own wife. It's that person that's like, I'm just going to buy this at a show and just figure it out later.
And how big do these turtles actually get?
You know what, Troy? That's a great question. I'm glad you asked, because based on the size you buy them, you would assume a quarter. Turns out these fuckers get to the size of a goddamn football. So you can't keep them indoors. Meanwhile, my wife and Chase's wife are wanting 6 of these each. So a swimming pool was needed to house them. A swimming pool.
Oh,
so
yeah.
We don't make
getting turtles.
Yeah, so we don't make the purchase. We're driving home, guys, and I get about halfway home, and my wife like looks at me and she goes, "If you had wanted those turtles, we would have gotten them."
Oh,
I was like, "Are you kidding me? This is what I'm in trouble over."
Okay, but she's also not wrong.
She's not wrong, but still, I got in trouble because I wasn't willing to smuggle a tortoise into Virginia. Yeah. And because I wanted to make sure we had the right setup. Also, understand, guys, I made it very clear to her, I will fill out and apply for all of the proper paperwork to actually own this stupid thing if she's willing to take the next year to actually build everything that we need to.
We legitimately looked at all the proper paperwork and permits that night in the Airbnb.
Of course, right? So we're like, we will do all of it that we need to, but like, you got to wait a year. And so that was still the wrong answer. So that was the worst of my week, was getting in trouble for not letting a first-time reptile keeper who's had reptiles in her home for 20 years not getting a turtle. So anyway.
Tragedy.
Yeah, my wife, she loves chameleons.
Okay. Do you have any?
No, because we cruise at least 2 or 3 times a year and are gone for 7 to 10, sometimes 11 days in a row, and we just, it's hard enough to get somebody to come over just to check on the snakes every few days, so yeah, something that needs daily maintenance just really isn't an option, other than, our neighbor who comes over and feeds our dog and our cat and lets the dog out a couple times a day. So not really an option, otherwise we'd probably have a house full of chameleons and geckos and leechies or something. Like what are those the little dragon looking ones like Stephen and Courtney just got?
The crocodile skinks.
Yes, those things are
they're so cool.
Love those things. They're so cool. I was so jealous when Courtney told me about some.
They are cool. I do like them. Yeah. I realized too, as Abby and Amelia and Molly walked through the show all together, I get why certain species are like super popular as pets, because it felt like every quote unquote popular pet animal were the ones that they're like, we should get this. They're like, they go by the bearded dragons and they're like, these are amazing, we should get some. And I'm like, absolutely not. What are you doing?
Yeah, those things. Yeah.
Yeah. They're like crested. So high maintenance. And then she's like, crested geckos, we should get those. And I'm like, once again, what are you doing? Like, don't get me wrong, I get it. We breed ball pythons. I understand the irony here of me being like, why are you getting a popular reptile? But it's like, they're just like, bearded dragons, let's do that. Water turtles, let's do that. And I'm just like, what are we doing here, guys? Jumping spiders. What?
Yeah, let's not get in on that. But Molly walking around the show, she just kept asking, so what size enclosure would I need for this? So what size enclosure does this need? Like, trying to like space it out in her head, like, oh, would this go great in the apartment? And then she was like, Pac-Man frogs. I think I want a bunch of different kinds of Pac-Man frogs.
I love Pac-Man frogs. They're so cute.
Yeah. So I was actually really encouraging for that one.
Of course,
I think the little poison dart frogs are really awesome too.
They are. I wonder. I have no idea how much effort, care take up, for those little guys. But I wouldn't mind having those if it was like minimal effort or I had an employee who took care of them for me. Mm-hmm. I just want to look at them. I don't enjoy them enough that I want to care for them, which is why I don't own them.
Yeah. For me, I like to be hands-on pets as well. That's
okay.
That's why my wife won't let me get a blue insularis. That's like been one of my absolute favorite snakes ever. Yeah. I've wanted one for a long time, but she's like, no. We're not going to do venomous. So even though they're really kind of not bad, even if they get you, but even at that, she doesn't.
Yeah, it's never worth the risk, I don't think.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, Hognoses is about as venomous as I'm willing to go, right? Like that's safe there.
Exactly her thought on the matter as well.
Yeah. I'm willing to risk it with Hognoses, and anything past that, and I just don't want to have a pet that if things go sideways, I'm going to lose an arm and or die. Like that's just not where I'm looking for. So.
Right. Oh yeah, I agree.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So I will say, I think fortunately I've negotiated my wife away from the Indian spotted turtle to now a diamondback terrapin, much more manageable. Thank God. So anyway, yeah.
And those are more are that the one, those the one from like around the Chesapeake Bay?
Yeah. So they're relatively local, so they're legal for me to own. Right. They're also something like, you can go and actually see out in the wild if you want. The males only get to like 5 to 6 inches, so you only need like a 50 or 60 gallon tank, which is super doable. Like it's just a win all around. It's not a floating football in a pond. It's so much easier.
Yeah.
So I would love chameleons though. I'm with your wife on that. They just
she loves those Panther Chameleons.
Yeah, they're beautiful. I just think they're hard to keep alive.
Yeah. We do have some friends like Jay and Lizzie at JLP Morphs. They have some chameleons. And so once in a blue moon, they used to bring them over and kind of let us visit with them every now and again. So, but but even they told us, kind of warned us, those things, like they're at the vet all the time. There's always something going
Oh,
on.
really? Okay. See, that's good to know. Yeah.
Yeah. But
yeah,
I don't know. So
I get it. No, I get it. So how long have you been breeding ball pythons then?
well, that's so kind of a two-part question. I started when I lived in Kentucky about 8 years ago. Then little over 5 years ago, I sold off the majority of my collection when I moved to South Carolina. Kind of got, I came to South Carolina with, I think, 15 females and 4 males. So I just whittled it all down to the ones that I just knew I didn't made a mistake buying, because I did like everybody else usually does when they first get in and you go to your first show. And one of my first shows I ever went to was Tinley, so I was immediately morph drunk.
Oh my goodness!
I can only imagine. Oh my goodness!
Yeah. So and then obviously walking by at that time, Jacob Elka Reptiles table was like wow, and then JSA's table was amazing, and and so, I mean, many others back then. So and for me, I mean, even when I started in this, I never really had much money. I mean, I was paying child support on 4 kids, so I was lucky to be able to buy bread and for a bread sandwich. You know? So when I was first getting in, so I've had to really take the long road this whole way, and we're just finally reaching a point where all the kids are gone off the off the payroll. So now we're really
kids are off the payroll. I like that.
Yeah. So now we're still now, trying to play catch up to everybody else, and and not even so much that, but we try to work with some genes that not a lot of people work with. Like we work a lot more with calico and bongo and stuff like that you don't see a whole lot out there, and just try to make some of the coolest looking stuff that we can, that isn't something everybody's doing, or so. But yeah, we've been working on like bongo clown combos and stuff like that, which was kind of awesome because Canova just put out a bongo clown video about a month or 2 ago. So that was pretty exciting because, we actually might have a couple snakes very similar to that in the incubator right now. So
that's exciting.
Yeah. So it was pretty exciting. And the funny thing too is we had a bunch of hets for sale that were kind of sat on the table for like 2 or 3 shows. That video comes out, the next show, all gone.
Yeah, it just sparks.
Boom, they all sold, so that was pretty nice. Perfect timing for us to be able to move some animals. So
that's awesome.
That always helps. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great, man.
Yeah.
I love that.
But so I also had, when I moved down here, I had carpet pythons. I had, we used to have some boas, but man, we just ran out of room so fast. We built a whole building in the back, of the house. Nothing massive. It's like a 15 by 30. And when I moved out here, I just had a few sea serpents racks out there. So it looked like, oh man, I won't outgrow this for 10 years. And here we are,
immediately
4 years later. And I mean, I need to put a new building out there because we've outgrown it already. So and then we had to sell off. We sold the boas, sold the carpets just to make more room for all the projects that we're doing. And so yeah, I mean, that was, so basically almost total hit a restart button about 5 years ago.
That's exciting. And I feel like that's kind of what most people have to go through if they want to keep like changing it up and producing cool stuff. They kind of have to hit that reset button once in a while. And especially early on after we, like you said, morph drunk and we're just excited and we're buying a little bit of everything. And then, and then you're like, oh, I should probably be selective about this.
Now I won't buy an animal unless I'm like, okay, I could do that. I could do this. I could do this. I could do this. Or it's usually I specifically go to a show just to find a certain animal.
Yeah.
And then another kind of little trick that I've kind of accidentally fell into as well is, even if I can't find something in a show, I don't see it on Morph Market, if I know who's working that project, now I know, don't be afraid to call somebody, because the last several snakes we've bought, other than what we picked up in Daytona, I've just made the phone call. Hey, I know you're working on this, and I'm guessing you probably have a couple of these in the holdback rack. And if you do, I'd like to have one. And lo and behold, the last several times I've made those phone calls, now I have those animals just for calling the person I know is in that project.
Yep. Yeah.
It turns out cold calling actually is pretty effective.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I've bought a snake directly off Morph Market in a hot second. It's pretty rare at this point.
Yeah.
Because like you said, you kind of get to a point where there's very specific needs. And if an animal doesn't fall within those very specific needs, then you just don't buy it. And so, yeah, you're right. The phone call thing, I think that's why, I preach so much about networking. Like, and that's really honestly to me, the biggest value in the show is just getting to know people. That way, like, when you make that phone call, it's not just kind of a person out of the blue. It's somebody they at least seen your face and smile, and whether or not they like exactly remember you the moment that you call. If you remind them they met you, a lot of times people are like, oh yeah, I remember, like, blah, blah, we're good. And and you can kind of go from there. So yeah, I love it.
Right. Or even be like, 2 years ago at Tinley, Patrick, I was standing there talking to you with Steven from Leviathan, and you'd be like, oh yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
That kind
exactly.
of thing. So,
no, that's exactly how it goes a lot of times, right? Because sometimes you just need those little triggers where it's just like, look, when we all go to shows, we meet 200 new people every time. And that number just feels like it's growing and growing and growing. Yeah. And so it's like, sometimes it's not like, we're not trying to be rude, right? None of us are. It's just like, sometimes you kind of get overloaded on the people you see. And then if you don't see that person again for 2, like you said, 2-3 years, sometimes you just need a little jump start, and all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, now we're good. I got you.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't even imagine like Chase and Justin. I mean, their table is just 20 people deep, almost all weekend. I'm kudos to them. I've never witnessed them be even remotely rude to anybody ever.
You should spend some time in an Airbnb with Chase. Let me tell you.
Yeah, that's a good point. But,
I'm just kidding. Chase is delightful.
That's the thing about our hobby, though. They're out there, but it's pretty rare to run into D-bags anymore in the last several years.
It has gotten so much better.
They're out there, but the industry does a really good job about. They find their way out.
Yeah. Exactly. So, that's another thing too, even people who are watching this that have the opportunity to walk up to anybody at a show, don't be scared, because I've literally witnessed people just in awe of vendors and stuff, thinking, it's like they're approaching a celebrity, that they've been watching their whole lives. And I'm like, these are just snake people, just like you. I
felt that way at my first Tinley. At my first Tinley, I totally felt that way. Seeing Kevin McCurley for the first time, and Mike Wilbanks and Brian Barczyk, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was just like little 17-year-old me was just overwhelmed.
Oh, I was totally fan struck by meeting Brian Barczyk for the first time. So, but and honestly, the guy that I met that really put me at ease immediately, like, oh wow, he's just a really nice guy, was Garrett DeMeyer.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
It's like, oh my God. And that was the very first Tinley I ever went to.
Okay.
And that guy stood there, probably over an hour, just answering every stupid question, or basic question that I couldn't find the answers to online.
Yeah.
And never once acted like he didn't want to be there or nothing, just more than happy. And of course, I did buy some animals from him too, but not that was after the conversation. I even actually walked around for a while. I did see some stuff on his table that I wanted. I ended up buying one snake from Ozzy at that show too, and I was broke for the rest of the year. So so
it's funny how that works, isn't it? It's good stuff.
But yeah, it's so much fun to just walk up there and talk to everybody, and then of course that's also how quickly you can figure out who the D-bags are immediately.
That's so true, and it's funny too, because that's how you also make amazing friends that you have no idea. Patrick coming up and harassing me at the JKR booth is actually how we met originally. And,
it's true.
he still doesn't leave me alone, but I'm okay with it now.
That's true.
Kind of love
it. Turns out if you walk up to booths and just tell people they're the fat guy on YouTube, it works out well. So just go for that, guys.
Stick with you for the rest of their life. So it's nice. It's really beautiful.
Hashtag love story. It's great. I don't know if Chase. I'm not sure if we ever fully told that story.
But it's right there with the Notebook at this point.
Oh my god! So I'm standing at the Canova booth and I'm talking with Justin because I actually, Chase had just started, really being actively involved. I think that was when
really
you
early.
very early,
8 years ago.
And
oh man, Chase already ruined my joke. I was going to be like, oh, so you met him back in the 80s? No.
And so I love that. And so I'm standing there just talking to Justin. We're having a good time, and Chase is being a good little employee, and he's not talking because the big kids were talking clearly. And this guy comes around and he starts filming, and he films and he's like, hey, Justin, he's filming. He's like, hey, Patrick, and he films me. And then he pans over to Chase. And he's like, who are you? Chase's like, I'm the fat guy in the YouTube videos.
Wow.
That was Patrick and I's first meeting.
That was our first time really meeting. And I was like, I like the energy you're bringing to the table, bud. Justin, move over. I got a new person to talk to.
Oh, well, you know what? Something very similar actually happened to me at Daytona this year.
Okay.
I was actually standing there talking to Steven of Leviathan, and this girl comes up, she's walking up to us and totally gets right in front of me with her back to me, Steven. And I was just I just kind of all right, I'll see you later.
I'll see you later,
I walked
Steven.
off, I was like, wow.
I love that so much.
It was awesome. And they deserve it, though. Oh, my God. They put out such amazing videos and stuff. So, great. I'm so thrilled for them. So
Courtney came up to me and told me that somebody met Steven and was like, I've never met a celebrity. And
that's awesome, though.
I really wish that I had been around for that because so many things I want to say to Steven in that moment. They are crushing it, though. I do love what they do, but
you know what? They're both just so nice. They're so nice.
Are they though? Who's nicer though? I mean, Steven is really nicer, obviously.
Steven's definitely nicer.
Yeah.
Golly, why? What's wrong with the Courtney hate?
I'm sorry. Have you not met Courtney?
Many times. Many times.
Well, I'm glad that Courtney saves all of her niceness for you, Troy, because I assure you
that is being abused.
That is not the case for the rest of us.
Well, if she's giving you grief, I'm sure you deserved it. So
no, you're not wrong there. I've definitely earned I've earned some abuse. So oh my God. I love how Molly and Courtney both are like, whoa.
Okay.
Yeah, really, Courtney's biggest problem is she just hates the pores, but that's okay. That's when you're a successful YouTube star, apparently you can do that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It is what it is. They're doing a great job. I'm so proud of them. It was great meeting them several years ago when they were just kind of really getting started off, and man, they're like on a rocket ship right now, and more power to them. They're just really
they are. I've never seen so much success from people that only breed blue-eyed Lucies. It's incredible.
Oh, thank you. I needed that.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. See, this is why she's mean to me right here. This is it. This is my fault.
You know what? I did buy a really nice red stripe het sunset a few years ago from them that is actively breeding, and we did a collab a few years ago where they brought Aries, their sunset, over, and we paired him to a couple of my ultramel girls, and now those double hets are now breeding.
Nice.
So hopefully here in the next, I don't know, 3 to 6 months, we'll have a shot at with some eggs in the incubator from them girls.
That would be fantastic. Cross for you, man.
I had no idea that Courtney and Steven named their snakes. Thank you for that, Ammo. I needed that.
Well, you know what? I name all of them too. The ones we keep that we breed, it's so much easier to keep track of them. In the pairings and all that, it's so much easier to keep track with names on the tubs.
I've heard of your kind of person before. I've never met one. It's incredible.
Yeah, we name them. They all have the ones that stay and are breeding,
They get names. Now, even the ones in the grow up racks, most of them don't have names, but as soon as they start breeding on the breeder card, they get a name.
They get a name.
So much easier to keep track on the way.
Interesting. Okay. All right. I just don't feel personally I'm creative enough to come up with that many names.
That's my wife's specialty.
Oh, okay. All right. Because I definitely would end up with like Snaky McSnickerface and then Snaky McSnickerface 2 and so on and so forth. It would be rough.
Oh no, we just go down like they get regular names, So well, not maybe all. Like for example, we have like a Dexter, of one of our boys, or a Hannibal, that kind of thing. So
all right, okay. So what snake is named Chase or Justin? Please tell me there's one, and please tell me it's a normal, please.
I don't think we have.
Yes, thank you.
I gotta be honest.
Yes,
isn't that crazy?
No, it's okay. It's good. It's for the better.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that so much. That's great. Yeah, I have a couple of snakes. I mean, for what it's worth, I do have a couple of snakes that have names, but they were like the very first ones that they're never leaving the facility, much to everyone's chagrin. So there's only minimal judgment there. But a Sunset being named. Somehow that just feels worse than like naming a banana or a bumblebee. I don't know why. Maybe I'm mildly biased, but it's all good.
I don't know. Well,
yeah, it's okay. Look, I mean,
I can't help. We love our animals more than you do. That's give them.
Hey, you heard it first.
Well done, sir. Well done.
Troy comes in swinging
yes,
so hard.
And I love that. That's a great answer. We love our animals more than you. Fair enough. Fair enough. You know what? Maybe that's fair. I named our skinks. Our blue tongue skinks have names.
There you go.
Sammy and Larry.
Patrick, I need that.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah. Sammy and Larry. The tortoises all have names. It's really just the ball pythons that don't. So
yeah. And honestly, whenever, like when we hit a Pompeii, maybe we'll name that Justin.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Okay. And actually, you know what? One of the male redhead Batmans that we just hatched, maybe I'll name him Chase because I'm keeping him.
Oh, that's so good. Yes. Man. Yeah. Kind of pale,
he is Batman,
not a lot.
After all.
Oh, he is Batman. I've heard that rumor.
Yeah.
The when I bought one of those Batman shirts, I was opening the package with a pair of scissors because it came in very well packed, and I nicked the shirt like right off the bat. So I actually never even wore it because it just had a giant cut in the side. It's really tragic.
Wow, that hurts. It's fine.
Well, you got the money. It's okay. You got the important parts.
Yeah, but I didn't get to know that you had to wear me.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I never wore. I never wore the Batman shirt. I did wear a pair of maroon pants that showed up in one of my shipments from Canova from Chase one year. So that was good. So you know what? I have worn that at least, Chase. So you got that going.
I will once in a while throw a fun item in a box. Patrick received a pair of pants.
I did. He calls me one day or texts me. He's like, weird question. What size pants do you wear? I told him. And then when I got my shipment the next week, I had some delightful maroon pants. I love those things.
There's so many jokes to be made on that. I'm just going to let it go.
So many.
I'm going to let it go.
We were doing Anchorman lines at one of the Tinleys, and his wife said he couldn't have maroon pants because she didn't like those because we were all doing the Ron Burgundy suits. So I went and bought a pair of maroon pants and mailed them to him with a
so great. So great.
Awesome.
That's awesome. So good. Yeah, that was a good time. It was some good times.
Now we got to get him walking around like Tinley Park in one of the Bucky's beaver outfits.
Dude, don't tempt me with a good time. Okay.
It's all too easy, Troy.
Yeah. If somebody buys the Bucky's outfit, I will wear it. That's not even a question.
I'm writing it down right now.
Yeah. I'm not committed enough to buy the outfit myself.
Yeah.
But if that onesie showed up at a show and somebody's like, "Will you wear this?"
You'd be in it.
Absolutely. Not even a question. I mean, there's pictures of me on the internet in a red Power Rangers outfit. I can assure you a Bucky's outfit is way more flattering. So we're good.
So upset if you wear that to Giordano's.
Oh my God. How great. Walk in. Hi. Jesus. Oh my God. And this is what happens at shows.
Everybody would be talking about you. Like everybody.
Because we don't already.
Well, that's a good point.
Maybe they'd be saying things a little bit nicer at least. I don't feel like people are always saying good things about me at this point. Turns out I can be loud and obnoxious. I didn't see that coming, but whatever. Oh my
I mean,
goodness!
You know, as long as I get a new lanyard, Patrick, we'll be
fair enough.
Yeah, I got a little too carried away and obnoxious at Daytona, and got threatened by Antoine that he was about to choke me out, so I had to back off.
Okay, all right. All right. This might be my favorite comment so far of the night, guys. Yeah. Gets awkward real quick when you start naming snakes after people in the hobby. Someone told us that Courtney is getting a lot bigger. Fair, referencing a snake that they had bought from us.
That's so bad. So bad.
Oh my God. I kind of want to start naming some of the snakes now. Just be like Amelia and Molly and Abby, and just be like, Molly's getting a little thick these days. That won't be an HR violation at all, right?
Wow.
I think she's quitting right now.
Oh my God, she knows better. I call her Tiny Human. She's okay. She's fine. She can literally fit in like a 10 series tub. She'll be okay. She's
As I always tell the guys in the facility, we don't have an HR department, but let's not do anything to make us create one.
I just put Molly in charge of HR immediately, and I was like, you're going to be the only one that cares, so you're in charge. Good luck.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I love it. All right, bud. So next show for you is, are you going to be at AARPE?
Yes. Next show is Dallas, though. Dallas. And then we have Bob's show, the Southeast Reptile.
Okay.
And then we have Troy's show, the All-American.
Yeah. Awesome. So you have a great lineup.
Yeah. And then we have a few Repticons, Charleston, Charlotte, Columbia, then NARBC St. Louis. And then maybe Tinley if we're able to slide in there on at this.
Dude, that is
you show list.
Yeah, you hit a lot of shows there. Good for you.
We do usually 15, 16 a year.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's a lot. But
you know what? I mean, that's getting that banner, getting that logo in people's face, getting that brand recognition out there, and. Yeah, I've been slacking so hard. Steven has really been on me about getting the YouTube going, but you know, to be honest, for many years I never felt like I should have a YouTube because who am I to tell anybody? I've only been doing this for a few years, so kind of thought I would wait till I kind of sort of know what I'm talking about, you know, or have some experience to at least claim that, you know. So yeah, like even now when people ask me advice, I'm always like, well. How I do it is because I'm not going to be like, oh, that person don't know or this is the right way. Though. I would never say that to somebody.
Yeah, that's the thing though. So many things can get done different ways and have the same result. So it's always nice to hear like fresh ways to do it for someone.
And I do think answering it that way though is a great way of being like, this is what I do, right? This is what I do, or this is what's worked for me. Whatever. I think that's great because we all get it. Like there are a lot of ways to do some of this stuff, but there are so many people in the industry that are like, nope, it's my way or the highway. And it's like, well, not so much.
No. And honestly, if somebody's saying that, then go get advice from somebody else. Cause
for sure.
Nobody should be like, oh, it's this. Just like Chase said, there's so many, but I mean, there's so many different ways people do this. Like ask 10 breeders how they set up an egg box, and I bet you're going to get 10 different answers.
Absolutely. I mean, look, there's two people in our company, and if you ask either one of us, there's two different ways to set up an egg box.
There you go.
Like, come on. Like that was that was one of the conversations Andre and I had when we first started setting up stuff, right? It was like, okay, how are we going to do this so we can do it the same? Because we both do this very differently. For
me, when I first started, the channel that I finally found on YouTube that I thought, okay, this guy seems to know what he's talking about. So I kind of started doing most things his way, and it's really worked for me, which was Gavin from Balls to You. So used to watch all his videos, you know, I built my first incubator by watching him build one, put one together. So bought an old Coke machine and built my first incubator, and I used that the first 3-4 hatching seasons. So, you know, but and then along the way, then you meet other people, and you know, you hear how they do things. And I've changed some stuff, no major changes, just from going to other people's facilities. You know, going to Bob Vu's place and seeing how he does things. You know, like, oh, I didn't think about that. You know, or certain things like that. So
Yep.
You know, kind of fun too, you know, when you're on different Patreons and Discords, and just even if I'm not commenting, just reading some of the stuff that people talk about, it's like, oh, yeah. Okay.
I think that's also a very important portion of our industry, and it's like it's the willingness to like see what other people are doing and try out some new stuff, right? Don't be stuck in your ways. You know, some of the biggest, like, I'd say, advancements, like for Andre and I, and like the back end and the husbandry, keep like the inventory tracking and the accounting and logistics and all of that, you know, that came from like, I was comfortable with what I had, but Andre was like, it just needs to be better for like when we scale. And, you know, I wasn't super stoked at the beginning of having to recode and redo a lot of stuff. But then after you start doing it, you're like, all right, I get it. Like, yeah, this is a little bit better. And so being a little more open-minded, right? And just willing to like, yeah, maybe my way wasn't the best, right? It's kind of what you talk about, like going and seeing other people's stuff and trying it. And sometimes it doesn't work out for you for whatever reason, but sometimes
it could like, just be the difference in the region they live in or the climate.
Exactly.
It could be drastically different. So it's, what's going to work for someone in New York is not going to work here in South Carolina. More than likely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'd love to see how our customers in Alaska do it. We have like a month a year we can ship to them, but we still do it.
Yeah,
it is crazy to me. Awesome.
Yeah, that would be, God, that would scare the crap out of me. I mean, all it takes is the one time that power to go out, the generator don't work, you're done.
Yeah, everything's just frozen solid. Yeah.
I mean, what happened? I mean, people were in Texas and it happened to them. Like, I can't imagine being in Alaska, you know?
Right. That is for sure. I agree with that. Yeah. All right. We're at an hour. Troy. Better Troy is what you're for here on out called.
Troy.
Better Troy.
Other Troy.
No, you've moved up from Other Troy to Better Troy. What's the best way for people to get a hold of you, bud?
Instagram, really.
Okay.
Awesome.
Balls and Strikes Pythons on Instagram is the main thing. We have a Facebook page. I am never, ever, hardly ever on Facebook.
Yeah.
At least not on that, on the Balls and Strikes page. So, but yeah, Instagram definitely is the easiest way to get a hold of us. We have a morph market, but I think there's like 2 snakes on there because we do so many shows, you know, and it's like if we listed everything on morph market, even if we had, you know, if we did well on morph market, we, you know, have to show up to these shows with some empty displays. So that wouldn't work either. So we honestly haven't produced enough to really kind of fill the displays and really go whole hog on morph market. So
I got you.
Really enjoy doing the shows. So,
cool.
So yeah, Instagram, you know, that's the best place too to kind of keep up with what we're producing as well. So
awesome.
Cool. Yeah, that's fantastic. Guys, if you're at a show and you see Balls and Strikes, make sure to go say hi to them and talk to them. And don't be shy, guys. Yeah, they got all kinds of cool snakes. Chase, best way to get a hold of you.
Oh, JKR. Oh, yeah, JKR MGR on Instagram. I'm starting to lose it.
That's okay.
MGR on Instagram and Canova everywhere else.
Perfect. Right. Yeah. I am a little harder to get a hold of right now. Andre's running the Instagram now as I'm stepping away soon. So just text me. I don't know. My phone number's out there somewhere. You can't get a hold of me anymore. Sorry.
Phone number on YouTube right now.
Here's a pro tip. Here's a pro tip for everybody. If you want to try to find somebody's phone number, forget all the social media. Get on Morph Market and click on the icon.
Yes.
Of the whoever, you know, so whoever owns or whatever is listing the snakes in that business on Morph Market, that phone number will be right there.
That is true. And right now I do think it still says Patrick and Andre, and it is my phone number on Morph Market. So if you have to get a hold of me, just text me there. If you message on Instagram or Facebook, you get the privilege of talking to Andre now, which honestly, he answers messages way faster than I did in the beginning. So it's probably a win for the customers, for being real. So anyway.
Yeah. If you want Patrick's number, just text me and I'll give it out. I don't care.
Perfect. I love it. Troy, once again, thank you so much for hanging out with us. This was a blast. Absolutely. No, absolutely. But I was like, we need a guest for Thursday. And I was like, Troy was a lot of fun to talk to at the show. Let's get him on and talk about Daytona. It was a good time. Awesome. So yeah, thank you so much for it. Everybody else, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Please like, subscribe, share, all the normal stuff. And we will see you next week. Love everybody. Troy, stick around for a second. I'm going to hit the end credits and we'll see you backstage. Love you guys. Thank y'all. Bye.